Hello, everyone. This is Margaret Manning with 60 and Me. This is the place where women over 60 come to be inspired. And my guest today is Lisa Copeland. Lisa is a dating coach, and she looks specifically to help women over 50. Hi, Lisa. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Margaret. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Lisa, I'm so excited to have you here because in the 60 and Me community, we have a lot of conversations about dating and finding love in our 60s. And I think that, you're an expert at this. This is your business. You do this every day. You know men, and I love that. But can you help us understand what happens to men when they turn 50? I mean, how are they different than the men that we used to hang out with or we were friends with in our younger years?
Well, men change, and as they age, they're building what's called a kingdom. And as they build this kingdom, they're shifting who they are. And
Mm,
when men go through like male menopause, what we think of the
yeah,
midlife crisis, which by the way is where a lot of divorce happens
yeah,
right
yeah.
there, because they're shifting inside themselves who they are and what they're willing to do. And when they come out of this, they want a woman at their side who's going to be there to support them. They're going to give to this woman everything they're willing to give.
Yeah.
And notice willing to give. And that's a huge thing. So, an example of that. Let's say you want to go see an artsy movie and a man is not into artsy movies. And you go, "Oh, I want to go see it. It has subtitles." And he's thinking, "I don't want to read all these subtitles." And so he will be happy to please you and go to a movie with you, but he'll say, "Go with your friends to that type of movie," or "Do something that you want to do, do it with your friends." So he'll do anything to please you. That's another thing that happens. They really, really want to please the woman they're with after 50. Now, what else happens is they become more into their masculinity and they really want to be men for and we grew up in an area of feminism where we didn't need men. We were taught you don't need a man, you could do it better, stronger, and we ended up emasculating men and being told we were controlling and dominating. And a lot of that controlling and dominating, it has to do with the language that men hear and don't hear. Does that make sense?
It
Like you
does make
have.
sense. And in fact, what you said, Lisa, just to or to restate it, is that those qualities of a man sort of doing what he wants and having a clear idea of what he likes and what he doesn't is actually very similar to women in their 60s. And,
That's right.
and I think that that's actually kind of where we maybe don't compromise. And then we reach that point like you're describing where it's the man is wanting to be more giving and more masculine. I know you've called them the hero. They want to be your hero. And
Mhm.
women are saying, no, I want it to be this way. So I guess that's, so I guess in a way that's another question is like, what things change for a woman in her 50s and 60s with dating? What's missing? What may she need to work on?
Well, I want to go back to one point that you just said, and then
Yeah,
we'll go to that question. I had
sure.
a client just recently say to me, when we ended up talking about how to speak to men, how to speak the language that men can hear, she said to me, and who men are, she said, "Oh my God, I've wanted a man to really understand me, but I realized I wanted him to be like me. I wasn't
Mm,
willing to accept him for who he was." And this is the huge thing for women. We have a hard
yes.
time because we really and truly we are out there looking for women in men's bodies. That's not who these men are. They're not going to be your best friend to chitty chat with you in the same way like a girlfriend will. They're not go- Their emotions are different. They have very much emotions and they hear a different language. They really hear a different language than what we speak. We speak girl talk, they speak man talk, or we speak woman talk and they speak boy
Yeah,
talk.
yeah.
It's just different. Okay, so to your second question, how are we different and what's
Yeah,
different?
what are we lacking? And because it seems like a lot of the women in the community are saying things like, they've gone on a dating site perhaps, or they try to mix with people in their community and they just, no, men aren't interested. They just walk past me. And the old invisibility comment comes up a lot. So what are we doing? What are we missing and what could we do better?
One of the biggest things that the one of the biggest problems for women 50s, 60s, or 70s is we've somewhat lost our confidence. we feel like, who's going to really like me at this age? And versus saying, I am amazing at this age. I'm actually becoming one of my best selves of my
Yes.
life. But we're comparing our physical attributes to who we were in our 20s. And the thing is men don't know what you look like in your 20s. They only know what you look like now. And that's where they're coming from. So men, when they don't notice you, a lot of it is because we don't know how to flirt with them. Most women don't know how to
Yeah.
flirt.
Yeah.
They don't know in public. They stand there like versus a smile is huge. It's huge when you're online. It's huge when you're out in public because men love your smile. So a really good thing to do is to start making eye contact with men of all ages and smile. And watch how many do smile back of all ages. They really do. The invisibility thing actually comes from within us because we feel invisible. We project that out there that men think
Yeah.
we're invisible.
I think it's just a matter of practicing, isn't it? I had a really
Yes.
interesting thing this weekend that happened. I went to a conference, or not a conference. It was like a fair where people or businesses were, displaying their wares. Some people showing
Yeah.
their I don't know, hot tubs, and it was like a lifestyle show.
Mhm.
And I walked around, and I'm just a smiler anyway. And
Yeah.
I would go up to people, and I found that men who are trying to sell you something are more responsive, which is great. I mean, I didn't expect these young sales guys to sort of ask me out for, a drink. But
Yeah.
it was really interesting though how smiling with them, because they were open to that smile, started a conversation. I must have had 10 conversations with just young men.
Yes.
And I felt afterwards I went out and I thought, wow, I haven't done that in a while, just chatting with people. So I think that's what you've just said is really true. Practicing that, just sharing,
Practicing,
talking.
right,
Yeah.
and it's fun. It's fun talking with men. Male energy is great, whether you're going to love them or not. It's just great to get yourself around male energy, and so many women don't. That's another thing about when you're older, because we have this attitude of I have to have the one, we knock men out of
Yes.
the ballpark who could be great friends to us. It's really good to get around male energy. So when I was dating all these men until I got to the relationship I'm with, many of them I did become friends with. And the cool thing about being a friend is you don't have to wait for him to call you. Whereas in the beginning of a dating relationship, you have to really let a man at this age be the pursuer. So when you have a male friend, and you have nothing to do, you can just call up and say, hey, you want to go to a movie? And it's nice to be around that male energy. It helps you practice your flirting skills. It helps you practice being happy and smiling around men. It's really, really good.
The male energy thing I think is really important, but you've
Hmm.
also touched on something that I think is another thing that's different with online dating after 60, and that is, like you say, we're not looking for men in all the different categories: friendship, for
Hmm.
marriage, for specialty. Like if someone likes to sail and you like to
Yeah.
sail, like you'll just go out maybe once a quarter,
Hmm.
just on a trip.
Hmm.
So tell us a little bit about that. That women should be thinking more about just making friends, and I think you said being a partner. Not, I remember the last time we spoke something about being a partner rather than a husband all the time. Looking for that.
So you can look for all different types of companionship
Yeah.
at this age. You have so much more choice. The thing about the problem with dating at this age is we're dating like we did in our 20s in terms of we're looking
Mm,
to build. We built families, we built where we got children, cars, dogs, houses, jobs. We're not at that age anymore. We're at an age now it's about sharing these years of our lives, and they can be really nice. It doesn't have the conflict of that building.
yeah.
It's totally different. So you don't have to do that with just one person. You can have a man as a friend. You can have a man as a lover and a friend where you maybe don't have a heart connection, but you both want to just have sex. And that's fine. Just be safe because STDs are highest in people over 60 now.
Yes, I read that.
Yes, that is a very high thing. The other thing you can have is just a companion that you go do things with. Join join. In the United States, we have meetup.com where they have different, or I don't know if it's
Yeah,
worldwide, but
everywhere. It's in Europe.
so this is a great place to hang out with men, because if you like sailing and they do sailing things, you can go and you can be around male energy. A lot of women don't want to marry again. They just don't want to intertwine everything again. It's too much of a hassle. Having someone in a committed relationship you can live with, or who lives in their own house, it's very hard for, as we're getting older, it's hard to adapt to living together.
Yeah.
We've been set in our ways. We've been doing things our way. It's hard to have a guy come in because you're going, don't touch that, move that. You're not doing it right. You're not. So sometimes having your own houses and having, coming together for companionship and sleepovers
Yeah.
works well too.
Yeah,
And marriage is an option if you want it as well.
Yeah. No, that's actually, I think, really great advice. And I'm just hearing in my head, though, conversations from the community of, I wish I had that many men to choose from. I've gone on a dating site, or I've asked around my friends, like all the things you think to do. And there just are, and this is a comment, there are no older men in my community. And I know, I have a feeling that you're going to say there are. You have to just
yes, there are.
play it like really seriously and look.
Yes, you do. Dating is a numbers game, and dating takes persistence. So you have to try lots of different things, because most people's friends are usually married. So married friends don't know that many single people. They really don't. They have like maybe one or two, and it's usually females, because men don't think about that. So you do have to get out there and you have to look around. You can meet men in restaurants. You talk to a zillion men this weekend.
At the trade show, yeah.
Yeah, just get used to talking to men, but they are there. They are at different events. And they too say there's no women, because everybody goes online and everybody looks on there and they go, that could be my grandfather, because we all see ourselves as 20 and we are now grandmothers and grandfathers and we're older.
Yeah.
So it's really also giving these guys online a chance. There's some great guys on there, but we don't give them a chance.
Yeah. Because they're not perfect and we're not perfect. I mean, we have a few.
We're not?
You might be. I'm not.
No, I'm not.
But I think you've said like three really important things. One is that you've got to sort of just recognize the man's mindset changes when he's over 60. The fact that we don't have to have a traditional marriage relationship, that there's a spectrum of ways that we can talk to each other. And then also that we have to just maybe be a little more confident in our beauty, flaws and all, and and just learn how to flirt, how to talk to men. Have we missed anything?
Well, be flexible. Don't knock men out. Women go, we didn't have chemistry. I knocked him out. Okay. Chemistry is not about the relationship. Having a guy that's going to be there for you is, and chemistry can grow. So be flexible with these men. Give them a chance. You may not have the chemistry the first date, but it can come the fourth date for women. Men have to be attracted to you, and they wouldn't have gone out with you if they weren't attracted to you in the first place. But don't knock men out so quickly. I've heard women knock men out for bellies, for baldness, for wearing glasses, for goofy kinds of things that we aren't perfect. We are older, and we're looking for perfection. So be flexible, because they're great guys that want to date you. We just don't give them a chance. You can make great boyfriends.
So women in the community, listen to Lisa. She knows. She's done this 1,000 times with women just like us. So anyway, thank you, Lisa. Great advice as always. Thank you.
Thank you, Margaret.
Take care.